Hi everybody, in this video I'd like to take a look at the USE minis for yesterday, particularly when we got some buy setups coming in here later in the day on, for example, the NQ. You can see this didn't reach the first profit target, and also particularly the YM. As you can see, we had another buy setup coming in here. Now these were perfectly valid buy setups because they were on a blue STF, so standard traders would have been okay to take these. But what I want to look at today is, were there any indications that these trade setups would not keep on rallying and reach their higher profit targets? Well, this again is all to do with the larger degree charts, and this is what we teach in our MTPredictor customer training webinars, in that we go to the 15-minute charts and we put DPs. These are our decision point tools on the charts. Now these are on the charts in advance, so if I scroll back to early in the day yesterday, you can see we had a pivot high here from the previous day. So what I can do is just literally go to the decision point tool, click choose swing high or low, and as you can see, that then puts a target on the chart in advance. Now this seems an awfully long distance away, but as you can see, the market made a low and then started to rally back up. But the point being is, on the NQ here on this 15-minute chart, just look where the market or this rally stopped, right around this decision point level. If we look at the Russell Index, there's the decision point from the last pivot, and as you can see, that nailed the high of the day yesterday. On the ES, this was a decision point low that I had on the market that I was looking at in our webinar, and as you can see, this decision point came from this pivot here. As you can see, when the market opened, it found support there. So let's put the decision point on from the prior major pivot up here, and this gives us a target, and just look what happened. Market rallied sharply, but just look where this rally stopped, in and around our decision point level. If we go to the YM and again put the decision point level on, again just look where this rally on the USE mini stopped yesterday. So this is the power of the decision point tool, particularly because it can be on your charts in advance, and we were looking at these levels in the webinar yesterday and actually warning customers and saying, look, if the markets get up into these levels, then there's larger degree 15-minute resistance, so you want to be very wary of any continued rallies. And as you can see, that's exactly what it did. The rallies got to these levels and then stopped dead. So the question being is, knowing that these 15-minute decision point levels are in these areas, how does that affect you when you're trading on the shorter term charts? Well, let's go back to the NQ for a good example. So here we are long. Now we know that we're up into decision point resistance, so the idea being is that you're wary of any further rallies. In other words, even though you're taking a long trade here, you've got to consider in the back of your mind that the long trade is very unlikely to go up to your higher target here, because it's bumping directly into a decision point resistance. So in this example, if I put a DP off this prior pivot, you can see it came in here and actually nailed this high beautifully. If I look at the volume, this was also a high volume VSA spike, and that's some other techniques we look at in MTPredictor. So what you could have done as a trader was then started to trail your stop just below the bar lows here and come out with a nice 1.6R profit. So even though the market did not go up to the initial levels suggested on the 3-minute chart, you could have still come out with a nice profitable trade, because you knew that the markets were bumping into 15-minute resistance on the 15-minute charts. And that's a good example of how we use multi-time frame analysis in MTPredictor, because not only can these decision points be used to help gauge which trades to take, in other words, only taking the trades that are in the direction of the large degree trend, it can also warn you of any trades that are in that trend, that they are likely to not continue up to their shorter term targets. In other words, you need to be aware of these larger degree support and resistance zones on your 15-minute charts to help you gauge your trade management strategies on your 3-minute charts as well. And in this way, it allowed you to take these short-term trades, but be very cautious and as such look to come out of them a bit quicker, and as such be able to bank some small profits.